Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the Basketball Bulletin. I'm Trevor Lane, going live here to talk a little NBA trade deadline. We are now 1 week away, joined by Donnie Freeman. Donnie, did this Shams tweet get you too? Like I jumped when I got the notification. I saw it start with Los Angeles Lakers, and I went, "Oh no, Jackson Hayes is just in the dunk contest."
Shams has been teasing us lately. If you're a Laker fan, Shams has been really teasing the last few days.
Oh, the Austin Reeves thing?
The Reeves thing, too. It's like, that's not even right, Shams. What are we doing here?
I win, and when that happened, I had just gotten the Lakers official injury report that they send all of us.
Yeah,
and I did a double take on it. I'm like, wait, that says out. Shams literally just tweeted he's back in, and so then I went to the NBA's league-wide injury report. Same thing, he's out, and then Shams deleted the tweet. He is messing with it. He's doing it on purpose now. Shams is.
Yeah, he's absolutely trolling. So this one, I said he should never start a sentence with Los Angeles Lakers again. I just don't want to say, not until the deadline passes anyway. But shout out to Jax for participating, and Carter Bryant as well.
Well, shout out to them for being willing to. We saw VJ Edgecombe passed on the dunk contest. He was asked about it and just said, I'm good. Yeah. We've had guys, even Mac McClung's won the damn thing 3 times.
Yeah.
But guys are now turning down the dunk. Not only do guys not play hard in the All-Star game, but now they don't want to compete against each other in the dunk contest either. And it's all, I would imagine, Donnie, a good chunk of it is guys are worried about losing. Not so much they want to win, not so much anything. They don't want to lose the dunk contest more than they want to win it.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. And I think the more time passes and the more, we get into this social media age, as we've been for quite a while now, and the more clippable everything is, guys don't want to, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Which is unfortunate because that used to be one of the hallmarks of All-Star Weekend, the dunk contest. All the stars would show up, participate, and all that stuff. It is what it is now.
Remember Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon?
Yeah, that's like semi-recent. I'm talking about just in general, the culture around it way before that. The legends of the past would participate there and take pride in it. Nowadays, guys don't give a damn about the All-Star game.
Kobe did it.
Yeah.
Somebody's to blame. Duh. All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about on the trade front.
No. Hold on. You know what you just did. Okay, screaming A. Smith. You know what you just did.
You know I love my hot takes, Donnie.
He's blamed that man for this specific thing like 5 times at least over the years.
Yeah, right. I mean, not a surprise. I bet he's really going to blame him now. This super chat came in. Thanks. We appreciate the super chat. Said, call it right now. Where is Giannis heading? Donnie, so I've been thinking about this. Who is most desperate to get Giannis? Because I think I've got an answer.
Golden State?
Yes.
They're the only team that I think is actually desperate.
Right
now. Did you see that they're making the whole war chest available?
Are they really?
Yeah, I saw a tweet, I think from Anthony Slater, that they're making the whole chest available. Everything.
Okay, so what would that be? Because I do think when it comes down to who will pull out all the stops and be willing to say, take it all to the Bucks. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Shams did mention something about the Bucks waiting until all the way up until the deadline taking offers, and they're not even sure that they're going to move them by then.
Yeah,
that's concerning because I do think the whole market's going to go nuts once Giannis is moved. But if he doesn't get moved until there's an hour left before the deadline or something, that could be a problem. Teams will probably get word though, like, hey, it's getting to the finish line with this team or whatever.
But you'll hear that like, hey, you're out of the running.
Yes,
and that's what it is, right?
So what is the all-in offer? It would be Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski, all your draft pick, 2028, 2030, pick swaps, everything you could put in.
The big thing was the 2032 was in there also. Like those picks are in there. So
we're talking like 3 picks, whatever swaps you can do, Moody, Podziemski, Kuminga, plus you would need Jimmy Butler in it to match salaries. And then do you also offer on the other side to provide value, like the Lakers provided value in the Luka trade? by taking back Maxey. And obviously that was a favor to the Mavs. That was benefit to the Mavs taking back that contract. So could the Warriors also say, we'll do Jimmy Butler and we'll take Kyle Kuzma off your books. Put Jimmy Butler in it. We'll take Kyle Kuzma off your books.
Yeah, they could do that. Whatever gets the deal done.
Do you do all of that? You see, if they're willing to do all of that, I've been saying I don't see the Bucks wanting to take back Jimmy, and I don't think they would in an ideal world. But if they're going into a full rebuild, maybe it would make sense that they could flip Jimmy midseason next year once he's back and healthy as an expiring, or do something like that. And then the big question would be, and this would make it the home run for Milwaukee. Can you take some portion of what the Warriors are giving you, reroute it to Portland, and get some of your own picks back? If you can do that, then I think Giannis goes to the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah. Side note related, is Portland not also a player for a potential trade?
I don't know that they are. I mean, they could. I think they could be if they want to be.
Yeah.
But are they?
Well, I think they may be able to put together the most compelling case here, because you get back whatever you want. Plus, maybe you can get back a young guy, but that means if you want like Kamara, for example, you have to do it in the offseason, but maybe you could target Sharp or something like that. I think you could do some stuff there.
I think the Warriors are desperate enough to push all the chips, because it's that or so long Steph's, twilight years here in the NBA, right? That's what we're talking about here. So I think the Warriors may be desperate enough to go everything, throw it all in there, and let's go. Giannis should totally goes to the Warriors. The West needs Giannis for sure. Oh no, from my perspective, stay out of the West, Giannis. Stay with the East. It is a nice, easy. The sun is shining, birds are chirping, a well-paved path to the finals in the East. The West is the treacherous climb up the mountain through thorns, and it's raining and thunderstorms and all of that. That is the path in the Western Conference. Stay East, Giannis. Stay where everything is so much nicer and so much easier.
Did we get a actual list? I saw there was some side reporting that he may want to go to like a few teams.
The Wolves were a team, the Heat, the Knicks. Those seem like the teams he's most interested in. The Wolves, the Heat, and the Knicks. But is he going to say no to playing with Steph?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think
this
so
was
either.
About Portland and my comment about them, but and for the record, they shouldn't trade him just anywhere for the best deal. But that also doesn't mean that, like I said in our video yesterday, they don't take back one of the best deals. Like you have to also consider your franchise's future.
For sure.
Like you can't just say, oh, well, he really wants to go to Miami, but they've got like the 6th best offer, so let's send him there. Like, no, right? Like we got to do what's best for us also.
Yeah, the Bucks have to do what's best for them. I don't think the Miami offer of Tyler Hero, Kelly Ware, draft capital is terrible.
No, it's a good offer. They just got it straight from me.
I really think it comes down to who can get the Bucks their picks back.
Yeah.
Like that's got, if I'm Milwaukee and I'm talking to Miami and I'm talking to Minnesota doesn't have a lot of draft capital to offer up. I'm talking to New York. I'm talking to Golden State. I'm saying, here is your task. Get us our picks back. Whoever gets the most picks back for us wins. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to do. The Bucks need their own picks back. They got to get them. And in that way, Donnie, I think the idea that's floating around out there with the Knicks makes a lot of sense. I think the Warriors are the ones where if it was close to the finish line, they'll toss in maybe more than they should. Like the Bucks, I don't want to use the word fleece, but it could be getting a haul for Giannis. It would be the Warriors that would give that up. But I think the idea of the Knicks effectively trading Cat and Bridges for Giannis and Drew makes a lot of sense to me. That makes a lot of sense to me from the Knicks perspective. That makes a lot of sense to me from the Bucks perspective, especially if they could reroute Cat to another team. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that would be pretty good, I think, but I don't know how likely that is. Hey, the Knicks had their chance, right?
The Knicks had their chance. That's true. And maybe they should have gone after him a bit more back in August when they had that conversation. This person said, F that. If I'm a Bucks fan, the Bucks better get the best deal. Poor Giannis has the consolation of a $60 million a year contract. Yeah, I mean, if you're the problem is though, Giannis has the ability. Let's say he doesn't want to go to Portland, just playing off of that scenario. Let's say he doesn't want to go to Portland. And the Bucks say, well, no, Giannis, Portland's giving us the best offer. Portland is going to call Giannis, or, through some alternative methods, they're going to find ways to find out, Giannis, when your extension is available in October, will you sign with us? Mm-hmm. And Giannis is going to have to tell the truth. He's going to have to say yes or no. And if he says no, that will scare away the Blazers or any other team that's potentially looking to trade for Giannis. So that's going to be part of this conversation, whether it's Giannis. Now, the Bucks technically can trade him wherever they want. Portland might say, well, that's okay. We're totally fine having you for a year and a half, and we'll still give up everything in order to get you. And there's nothing Giannis can do in that scenario. But Giannis is going to be asked, whoever is trading for him is going to ask, do you want to be here? Will you sign the extension with us? And if Giannis says no, I think that's going to chase away any team that he says no to.
Yeah, I agree with you. Can the Lakers sign Peyton Washington?
Peyton Watson.
Let him go. Oh, Peyton Watson, my bad. If the Nuggets let him go in free agency, anything is possible, but it's very unlikely.
Well, I mean, if the Nuggets let him go in free agency,
just let him go, yeah, but that's unlikely.
That's unlikely. Yeah, he will be a restricted free agent. Could the Lakers offer him a big deal? Yes, absolutely they can. Will the Nuggets match? Probably. And the Nuggets may do some other things. They might move Cam Johnson, decline Jonas Valanciunas, or waive Jonas Valanciunas, who has $0 guaranteed next year. The Nuggets will do some other things, but right now, as things presently stand, the Nuggets are $1.2 million below the second apron. Maybe they just say, screw it, we don't care. We'll be a second apron team. And then they match on Peyton Watson, and there you go. But assuming they don't want to go above the second apron, they're going to have to shed some other salaries in order to pay Peyton Watson the increase that he is due based on how well he's been playing for them. But if the Nuggets just say, you know what, let's say the Nuggets lose their minds and do what the Lakers did with Julius Randle when he was a restricted free agent. And they say, you know what? You don't like restricted free agency? Don't worry about it. We'll relinquish your rights. Now you can be a full free agent. And then he went and signed with the Pelicans. If the Nuggets did that, again, would not expect them to, then absolutely the Lakers become an immediate landing spot. The real question is, will they put in an offer on him in restricted free agency? Because over the last few years, restricted free agency has been a no-fly zone. Teams will not touch RFAs. But Peyton Watson may change that with the financial situation the Nuggets are in, especially if word gets around that the Nuggets don't have a solution to their problem and don't want to be a second apron team. Teams may test that. The question is, Donnie, are you willing to give Peyton Watson like $30 million a year? Because that's probably what it's going to take to get the Nuggets to blink.
No, I don't know. Because you're projecting that he's going to be who he is now and continue to play that way and continue to improve to be worth that for X number of years. But the funny thing is, you may not want to take that gamble anyway if you offer him that, because all that money will be tied up, and then the Nuggets will just wait to the very last second, whether they want to or don't, to decide on if they're going to do that. That's the annoying thing about RFA. They could just sit there until the timer expires and say, oh, there we go.
It's not even so much restricted free agency that's the problem. It's the moratorium.
The
moratorium. That's what kills it. I mean, so let's say free agency begins technically June 30th, but let's call it July 1st. You say you come to terms verbally. Hey, we're giving you $35 million a year, Peyton Watson. Welcome to LA. Great. Okay. Does the timer start then? And then July 2nd, whether or not you have him? No, the timer doesn't start till he actually puts pen to paper, which can't happen until July 6th. So now you have to spend the first week of free agency with $30 million, whatever it is that you're paying him, tied up. You can't go spend it elsewhere. He signs it. The Nuggets aren't going to tell you what they're going to do. They're going to wait until the last second, July 7th, when the 24-hour timer is just about to expire, to say, oh, we're matching or we're not. They say we're matching. Oh, great. Now we've got $35 million to spend in salary and nobody to spend it on because everybody else has flown off the shelves in free agency. That's the challenging part for it.
That's why you don't see a lot of that anymore.
Mhm.
just because teams just do that every time. It's kind of messed up when you think about it, but that's just how they get a little bit of a competitive advantage over some of these other teams. It's almost like they're vindictive. Oh, you want to offer our guys some money? Okay, watch this. You're going to make us eat this big deal. Watch this. We're going to make you sit on it and wait this entire time while all these free agents pass you by. So yeah, I think he'd be a good fit. Obviously, he'd be one of the best free agents on the market if he was actually out there as a free agent. But 30 million, I'm not so sure about that number, but maybe.
Yeah.
Because like
You have to overpay.
you have to project out, like you're saying, overpay him for that, and he potentially develops into a guy that's worth that or more. But you can't know that immediately
Mhm.
on a lot of teams anyway, right? Depending on the usage and role. I wanted to spotlight this because Andy was saying basically that the Blazers are not going to trade those picks for things like Cat or Bridges or anything like that back, because the Bucks are basically going to be bad for those years, guaranteed. And so those picks, also with the day money on the books, those
They're
picks
very
are
valuable.
extremely valuable. And
Yep.
you're correct. Yeah, they are in a weird situation here, which is why they need to get their picks back ideally, right? Which there's no other way really to do that, I don't think, than to just say, hey, Giannis, will you go to Portland? And hopefully he says yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you're the Bucks and you're seeing, or you're the Blazers, right now you're saying this is exactly what we were hoping would happen.
Yeah.
And this is why we did what we did. Why we traded Dame there. We were hoping this would happen to the Bucks. It's going swimmingly. Are you going to cash that in right now? Maybe not. Maybe they just say, well, you know what? We know what's coming. One way or another, Giannis is leaving. So we're going to hang on to these picks because the value is not going anywhere. You guys are going to suck in a couple of years, and we're going to reap the benefits.
That's very, very possible. And that's what teams should be trying to do to teams like the Warriors that are trying to make these trades. You hedge against it and say, okay, well, you're going to be bad in a few years. Frankly, that's what teams like the Jazz tried to do to the Lakers, but they unexpectedly acquired another superstar in the middle of that.
And that's the other piece to it, though. Like, you never know what's going to happen. What if what if this year, Milwaukee has their pick this year? They can't get number one because then the Hawks would take it. But
two pick then, okay.
But let's say they get the second pick.
Yeah.
Let's say they get the second pick and they get AJ DeBonsa or something, right? Like, that could totally change their future. And then Portland's like, well, shit. I mean, now these picks don't look so good, right? Like, that's possible. You never know. And so I think there has to be a level where the Blazers would say, okay, we'll do this. What that level's at, I don't know, because there is some risk, even if right now it does not look good for the future of the Bucks and those picks look extremely valuable. You never know for sure in this league.
Yeah, anything's possible.
Can you explain why they need to get their own picks back? Yeah, because if you lose games, you're tanking, you're rebuilding, let's call it. That's your main weapon to get good again is those high draft picks that you're going to get. If you don't have your own picks, you're losing, and it's another team that's going to get that draft pick. They're going to reap the benefits of your struggles. So that's why they need to get their own picks back so they can lose lots of games over the next few years and actually reap the benefit for it.
Yeah, there's no incentive to tank other than just you're purely bad.
Yep.
You're not getting anything for it. So 902 Legend, make sure you guys do hit that thumbs up. Thanks for the shout out. Appreciate it. Let's get this over 250 likes. We got 700 people in here. Obviously easy to do. That's only a third of you guys. So knock it out.
Yep. Hit that button. Let's get into some more of your questions, some of your comments. I see a lot of people pessimistic that nothing's going to happen at the trade deadline. Things are going to happen, right? I know the Giannis thing has the potential to freeze them and has frozen the market up to this point. Whether or not Giannis gets traded by the deadline, other stuff will happen. It may not be the most exciting stuff. I do think a Giannis trade unlocks a lot of things around the NBA and could open up a lot of moves. But I know we've only had the Trae Young trade so far, and that's frustrating. But nothing's going to top last year. It's not going to be last year where the Luka trade is the most shocking trade in NBA history and everybody loses their minds and all of that. That's not going to happen. But I think there is stuff coming. Stuff's going to happen over the next week. It may be closer to the deadline itself, but I don't see every team just sitting out and making zero moves between now and the trade deadline, which is right now, just under 1 week away.
You know what's going to happen?
What?
We're going to get a whole lot of nothing, like, other than the Keon Ellis trade.
Keon Ellis is going to get traded. That's what you think's going to. Can't we be optimistic here?
Yeah, sure. We'll get Keon Ellis trade, Dalton Connect trade, some flirting with John, some other teams, but nothing's going to happen.
This comment says Lakers are making 0 trades. Rob Pelinka is at Disney.
No, I just told you the Lakers are making a trade. They're going to send Dalton Connect into salary cap space.
Would you do that if a team said, we will take him just into cap space, we'll give you a top 55 protected second rounder in return, aka nothing?
A touch rule.
Would you do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You would trade Dalton Connect for nothing?
Just do it.
Yeah. Just to get his $4.2 million off the books next year?
Yeah. And it's not even because I don't like him or don't think he could be good. We've talked about him a few times, but and also that spot on the roster, I value that.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah, what do you do with that? Is it just like Drew Timmy gets that spot? Maybe somebody on the buyout market you could add?
Yeah. There's options there for a guy that JJ actually will play. So
is that a shot at JJ? Like, do you think JJ should be playing Connect?
I mean, I don't know that he showed him anything to warrant it, but I do think that to some level, the young guys need to get the burn to show what they can do.
Dalton is totally going to go wherever he goes. He's going to go nuts, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to go crazy.
That's going to happen
because you know what it is. He's going to be removed from a situation where they're not playing him, 1, and 2. There's no pressure to produce, most likely. If he goes to like a good team, that's different. But the good teams don't typically have cap space. So, he's going to go to a team where there's no pressure to produce, and he's going to light it up, and we're going to see him. And we're going to play him. He's going to get the revenge game where he goes for 30.
Yeah, the first time he hits even 20, or if he goes like 4 for 5 from 3,
he's going to be trending.
We're going to be hearing about it.
Yep.
We're going to be hearing about it.
We hear it with all of the guys they trade. You hear it with every single one of
them. Kerwin said, you think the Lakers or other teams will take advantage of the Giannis situation and trade for Miles Turner? Well, that's actually, so the Shams comment about maybe waiting all the way up until the deadline itself because they're going to field offers up till the buzzer. There is some incentive for Milwaukee to not do that. Now, Milwaukee saying that right now makes all kinds of sense. Just like I saw a comment earlier about, the Nuggets have said they will do whatever it takes to keep Peyton Watson. Says every team in that situation right now. They would not say otherwise. Even if they said, man, we can't do everything to keep Peyton Watson, they're going to say we're doing everything to keep him and we will match any offer just to try to scare away other suitors. But will teams take advantage of the Giannis situation and try to trade for some of these veterans? I think that's the benefit of Milwaukee doing a move sooner rather than later. So maybe this weekend or something, is then they can pivot and start selling Bobby Portis, maybe Kevin Porter Jr., Miles Turner, certainly. And those follow-up trades are gonna happen at that point. So yeah, like I think that other teams will get in on these guys. I don't even know if Miles Turner is a good contract on that deal right now. In fact, I would lean towards he's not.
Yeesh. Yeah, the way he's producing,
he's not been good.
I don't know. But by that same coin, I do expect him to go somewhere else and be probably worth that money. But it's going to be like razor thin margin. Like he's like right on the line.
You have to believe he is the perfect fit for your team in order to trade for him right now. When we were talking, Miles Turner with Anthony Davis, okay. I'm like, that makes some sense. I don't know that Miles Turner is the right guy for the Lakers. He's
not their current roster.
But Bobby Portis, much more, that's $13 million. I think a lot of teams would like to have him. Kyle Kuzma, I think the Bucks would need. If I'm the Bucks, I'm trying to see if I can shed Kyle Kuzma in the Giannis deal. Because you're not getting value. You're not getting anything back for it. You'd have to attach stuff to him.
Well, you're going to be bad the next couple years, at least. At the bare minimum, he's
Are you thinking Kyle Kuzma tank commander?
Oh, you could keep him, and he's at the bare minimum, he's an expiring. Maybe he recaps some value next year, and you could trade him out. That's just kind of how I look at a lot of these guys when they've got 1 year left on the books. So if you can't flip him now, there's always next deadline.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the rush, right? Like, I don't know. What's the rush?
I guess that's true. If you do go full tank mode, he's not going to help you win games.
Yeah. What's the
Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah. He's been just getting tossed around on these bad teams lately. So
yeah. Yep. Tony, Lakers should trade all their picks to protect themselves from actually making them.
Hey, without a scouting department like we don't have now, we definitely don't need to be making one, right?
I mean, they should be getting a scout. Was the scouting department always listened to?
No, clearly not.
Yeah, that's
Because they were vetoed when it came to JHS.
Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, this is if the Lakers have to trade, if they find Donnie's dream trade of Dalton Connect for nothing, that will be 2 back-to-back picks that you crumpled up and threw away. Even worse, JHS, they had to attach a pick to get him off their roster.
Yeah.
So now that was part of the Luka trade. So that,
yeah.
But still, not good.
If you look at all their trades, they're always the ones sending assets out in their trades. They've got one where they're and it's the
Thomas Bryant. They got back 3 seconds. That was it.
They're
constantly sending out assets.
And that bill has come due. They're just out of things they can send right now. So
the last time they signed a player that they drafted, a first round pick that they drafted to an extension, like kept a player, was 2008.
Terrible.
Andrew Bynum. That was the last one.
We talked about that last show, and I will say we got a comment that said just because they don't keep the guys doesn't mean those picks are wasted, because maybe you trade them and you get value in that, things like that. So there's that too, but which is certainly fair. But yeah, they don't really hold on to these guys. I saw this come through a couple minutes ago, and I was fighting back the laughter.
Oh God. I mean, the numbers are inflated there. But Dalton Connect to the Shanghai Sharks.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's the team we're talking about. Can we do what, interleague trades? Cross league trades, whatever?
Yeah, who can you get?
I don't know.
Is E. Gianleon still a thing?
I don't know who's on the roster.
Can we get the chair that E. Gianleon played against in the infamous draft workout?
Oh my God. Only the Lakers would believe that.
What do you think about the idea that the Bucks are just taking in all these offers for right now, seeing what they can push teams to do, and then using that to set their baseline for the summer for a Giannis trade?
That's actually pretty intriguing. I don't think
Stein mentioned that today. I talked about it on that video that dropped this morning. I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah, if you're the Bucks, there's not really a rush here. And if you're Giannis, you obviously want to get this done sooner than later, but maybe you could use that as an excuse to just rehab your injuries and get healthy, but there's also the extension bit of it all where you'd be better suited to get traded sooner so you can get extended. But yeah, I don't think there's a rush if you're the Bucks, and you can see what teams are willing to offer now and get to the offseason and say some of these other teams are going to join the fray. And can we put something together there too?
Let's go to this. MSN wants to know a question about the Steppian rule. Hypothetically, could the Lakers trade the Nets or anyone, their 2032 first, receive a 2027 and 2029 first? Would that allow them to have 3 firsts to trade in 2026, 2028, and 2030, and still have 27, 29, and 31? Yes, you are correct. That's how that would work. You can reset the Steppian rule, because the rule is that you have to have a first round pick in that year. It does not have to be your own. So like the Lakers can't trade their 2026 first right now because their 2027 first is already gone. If they were to add another 2027 first, then they could trade their 2026 first right now. Right as it stands currently, they can trade their 2026 first once it's not a pick anymore. Once they use it on a player, they can trade it on draft night, right? But if they were to get a 2027 first, boom, they could trade their 2026 pick, and there they go. If they were to get a 2029 pick to replace the one that they traded in the Luka trade, then that opens up the 2028 draft pick. So yes, that's absolutely how it would work. That would reset the Steppian rule. And that's, I think, part of the reason why we're hearing the Lakers are looking to take their 2031 or 2032 pick and turn it into lesser picks in the present, reset that Steppian rule. But my whole thing with that is if you're going to do that, because there's a lot of danger in that when Luka's in his 30s, who knows what that's going to look like. That 2032 pick or whatever it is could wind up being extremely valuable. So you need to know. You don't do this just to add more picks right now. So especially because they would be lower level picks. If we're talking, it'd be like you're getting a Thunder pick or something that's going to be 30, right? Mm-hmm. You do this if you already know where those picks are going. I've already got moves lined up, and I'm going to get guys that I think are going to put me over the top. That's when I do this move. I don't do this move just in a vacuum from a value perspective.
Oh, so is that a Phoenix shot from last year where they made that exact trade and then did nothing with it?
I mean, Phoenix did that. Well, they wound up turning, I think 2 of the picks became Mark Williams.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So they did do that.
Nothing in that immediate window though.
Right.
I remember.
They thought they were getting Jimmy Butler with that.
Yeah. But I think that would be a pretty savvy move, and frankly, is Rob the GM in 2032? Because I don't know that he cares if he's not.
I mean, I think if you said, is any person the GM of a team in 2032, the odds-on answer would have to be no. Yeah. Sam Presti may have. He may be the only one. He's got it made in OKC, yeah. But in general, the lifespan of a GM is just not that long, and that can actually be a factor too in trade talks when we're talking about, does a team want to trade for a 2032 pick? That general manager that's trading for that pick knows that most likely he's not going to be the one using it.
Yeah, and the general manager sending the pick out also knows the same thing.
Yep, so exactly.
It goes both ways. So
this is going to be somebody else's problem. That's like Nico Harrison said. I'm only planning on being here for a few years anyway. I don't care what the future looks like.
That's an insane statement to have from your GM. He said the future is for me the next 2-3 years. He said we'll probably be gone after that.
So when the bill really comes due and Anthony Davis is decrepit and 35, I'm gone anyway. And then the Mavs said, yeah, let's make that sooner.
Crazy, insane. Like I can't. And frankly, there's a question whether or not that time has already run its course for Rob too. I would very much love for the Lakers to add to the front office. They don't have to fire him, but add somebody else that could be like the GM and maybe he gets president role or something like that. Mm-hmm. He wears too many hats, but just add more voices at the minimum.
New ownership tends to want to make their own hires, right? And that's what they have right now. Now, there is something to be said for the idea that I forget who it was that made the comment that the most important thing for somebody to do, if you find yourself in the incredibly fortunate position to buy a professional sports franchise, is once you take control, do nothing for like a year and a half. Don't change anything. Get a sense of for how the business works, then make your change. Because oftentimes what guys do is they go, oh, I know better than the person before me. I'm going to go make a bunch of changes and do a bunch of things. Then everybody's going to praise me because of how much I change things. And that often leads to mistakes. See the Phoenix Suns, right?
See, what's his name? Nico Harrison. He had one really good deadline. And then all of a sudden was like, I'm the hot shit here now. Watch this.
Watch what I can do.
Yeah, watch this.
All right. See you, Luka. Okay. Let's get into, we've got one here. Portland should send 28 and 30 for Trey Murphy or Jaren Jackson. I mean, the Pels are rumored to want not 2 firsts, 4 firsts. And it's not for Herb and Trey, 2 each. It's each. They want 4 picks for Herb, 4 picks for Trey. If they're not lying about that,
they just don't want to trade them.
They just don't want to.
That's all. Like, they don't want to trade them.
Donnie, why though? Why did the Pelicans not value a draft pick to the point where they've traded what could wind up the number 1 pick in the NBA draft to get Derek Queen, who is a fine target, but not at the expense of the pick they gave up? Why did the Pelicans not value that pick and suddenly value picks insanely highly when it comes to Trey Murphy and Herb Jones?
Because these guys are for sure things, and they don't know what the other pick is, I guess.
Or does it go the other way? And they're saying picks aren't that valuable. That's why they need 4 of them. Maybe that's the way.
Maybe I guess. Yeah, that could be a thing. I just, like I said, maybe because they know these guys have value, and so they're just trying to drive the price up.
They're the best thing they've got. Like,
exactly.
Teams will give more for Trey Murphy than they would for Zion, and it's not close.
It's not close. And so, yeah, I think actually it's a little bit like the Giannis thing, right? Where you got to ask for the best possible return for your franchise. And this is standard operating procedure anyway, Giannis or otherwise, Murphy otherwise. Teams are going to do that. Typically, asking prices will go down for these non-superstar level guys, and maybe asking prices go down for these two wings. But for now, I don't think they want to. They're like, I don't think they're serious about it. It's like they're not.
Zion proved to them that picks don't matter.
I mean, he was only a number 1 overall pick. That was one of the most hyped prospects in ever, and just underperformed due to his health.
Hindsight's 2020, but could you imagine how great they would look right now had they like traded that pick on draft, like what they could have gotten for that pick?
Oh yeah, if teams would have went insane for that pick.
Nobody would have done it, but man, that would have been crazy. Like, no, I'm saying nobody in the Pels position would have traded that pick. Yeah.
Because you can't know what would happen with Zion. But at the time, I mean, shoot. This guy was one of the most, like, since LeBron, damn near. He's one of those guys, man. And it just hasn't panned out that way.
Because not only was he dominant, but he was exciting. Like, Jokic is dominant, but he's not very exciting. And people will tune in to watch a good team and watch a team win. But with Zion, you get a guy who's not only good and dominant, but also does stuff that no other human being on the planet can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's, or just about anyway, that's where you've really got, and that's what you potentially had.
Yeah, seeing him freaking blow up his shoe like that in college was like, what the hell is this guy's body made out of? So yeah, I don't know that proves picks don't matter. He should be much better than he is for a number of reasons. He hasn't been able to live up to that. But the crazy thing is, availability aside, which is the most important thing, but just skill set, production wise, when he's actually out there, he has nowhere near the talent ceiling, but he's still really damn good. So
when he's
that tells you everything you need to know. Like, he's a crazy good player. Just he'll probably never hit that ceiling. But yeah, they should be trying to get some of those, top end picks. And frankly, maybe they just didn't care about this upcoming class that much.
Zion is, but the upcoming class is supposed to be awesome. It's the 27 and 28 classes that people are like, this class is supposed to be great. But maybe they just, I don't know. Their mascot is a giant evil looking baby. So, I mean, they may just not be right in the head.
Can we just say that they really love Queen?
That's fair. And I think they do. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you should unprotect your, like, if this was a top 5 protected pick, it would be totally different.
Absolutely. I'm not going to defend Dumars. He's not been good.
No. What rug was the Kawhi Clippers stuff swept under? Good Lord, because it's looking real suspect with the league's richest owner. I know we still haven't heard. And the All-Star game is in a couple of weeks, and that's at Intuit Dome. But yeah, look, the Kawhi Clippers stuff, it's being investigated. Pablo Torre had a video out the other day, a week or so ago, on that he got called in to, I think it was Wachtell, was the group that is like handling the investigation and going through everything and interviewing people and all that. We knew it was going to be a long process. So I know felt like it's been a lifetime, but really it was wasn't it September, October is when that stuff was really going?
Yeah.
I think, we're going to hear on that at some point. We're going to get some type of resolution, but it was going to take a while to interview everybody, go through all these documents and try to figure out, did the Clippers route money to Kawhi Leonard outside of the NBA's salary cap? And if they did, then, I mean, full on, get Mjolnir crackling with lightning and drop the hammer right down on the Clippers. That's what you have to do if you're the NBA.
Yeah, I think the fear is that a lot of people, and he kind of brought it up here, people fear that since he's, the richest guy in the room.
And well-liked.
Yeah, they're going to, and he's also, doesn't he have like a position of power in the NBA?
He does. Yeah.
Like, people are fearing that they're just going to sweep this under the rug. Right. So that's what it is. The longer you wait, the more people kind of question that. And it seems like they're kind of hoping that you just forget about it. And so every so often we get questions like this. But at the time we knew that it would take a while. That was something that was reported then, is that it would just take a while to get to the bottom of this. And we thought maybe around the All-Star break, which is not all that far away at this point. Maybe then, maybe in the offseason, I don't know. But they are definitely doing their due diligence on this one for sure.
To give an idea, like I talk about all the time about Ballmer having the most money in the NBA by far. This is this is from a post from a year ago, so these numbers have changed. But look at how much more money Steve Ballmer has than anyone else that owns an NBA team.
Stupid.
$142 billion.
Stupid.
I mean, think about that. The Lakers were valued at $10 billion. He could buy 14 Lakers.
Yeah.
Teams. He could he could effectively buy the NBA, right? If we're being real, if he wanted to buy he could buy every team in the league.
Yeah. I was just about to say this guy could buy the entire NBA.
The entire league. Yep.
That's crazy. So what do you like? So I understand why people will be pessimistic about that. Because with money comes the power, right? So
yeah. I think there's a dynamic there where there's already belief in the court of public opinion that the Clippers did something wrong, that all the evidence points to they broke the rules. And I think the response will be overwhelmingly negative towards the NBA if they say nothing was found, or if it's just a slap on the wrist. I think there's going to be a big negative outcry after that. Now, will it hang around forever? No. But I think the general perception in the public, because of Pablo Torre's podcast, is, as well as Steve Ballmer's appearance on ESPN, which didn't go great, is already that the Clippers are guilty.
Yeah, I think that's where people settled on that, though, pretty quickly. The very first time that Pablo came out with anything, people settled on that. And then he just got egged on and kept dropping more and more stuff, and people settled on that too. But then there's always been the pocket of people that are like, oh, don't believe Pablo because
it's circumstantial and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the things that Adam said when he was asked about it is they want to, they can, because there was some confusion as to whether or not they can use circumstantial stuff or do they need ironclad information. He said basically they can. It just needs to basically be clear enough, right? So they can't find the proverbial smoking gun. It needs to just look like it enough, and then they can be like, okay.
But like, where that line exists, what is the burden of proof? Like, and that's just we don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
I mean, but the stuff that's come out seems pretty compelling. So if you're a fan watching it, you're like, okay, well, we see all this stuff. We have all this stuff. There's documentation on all this stuff. Why can't you just go down that same path that's already 3/4 blazed and say, oh, okay, reach the same conclusion most people have? So
goodbye future Clippers picks and all that stuff.
Yeah, but I don't really have a problem with it. I want them to do their best and get it right, beyond reason of a doubt, right? Just get it right, whatever that is.
Donnie, I know you have to jump out in just a second here. So I want to get into this super chat. Said, need to work out the logistics, but OKC gets Trey Murphy. Pacers get Lou Dort and Aaron Wiggins. Pelicans get Ben Mathurin and 3 first-round picks from OKC. If you're the Pels, would you rather get Ben Mathurin or Lou Dort and Aaron Wiggins in the picks? Yeah, I guess you'd rather have Mathurin in the picks. That's interesting. We got a little breaking news, Donnie, and not good news. Denver Nuggets forward Aaron Gordon will be reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks with a right hamstring strain.
Man, these hamstrings and calves, dude, it's relentless. Didn't he have a hamstring strain in the playoffs as well? He's been dealing with that, right?
Yeah. And we've got, the multiple hamstring strains for Jalen Green. We've got the calf injuries now. Evan Mobley getting a second one. This is crazy this year with all these injuries. Unfortunately, now the Nuggets are supposed to get Valanciunas back, I believe, soon. Jokic is back sooner rather than later, so maybe they can weather the storm. But man, Peyton Watson is going to continue to have an opportunity to continue his ascent. But back to this trade, do you think this is something that would make sense for OKC to shift their roster in order to do?
Trey Murphy, and they're sending out Dort and Wiggins.
I'm gonna say OKC should not do this.
Yeah,
I think you're going to need Lou Dort in the playoffs to put on the other team's best perimeter player more than you're going to need Trey Murphy and the scoring that he brings.
He said they also received Kevon Looney.
And OKC has dealt with injuries at the big position. There's something. I mean, Kevon Looney at least is something, but I don't think it should. I think if I'm OKC and I want to defend my title,
I think you want to keep things the way they are. If
I
it's
think
not
Lou
broken,
Dort and Aaron Wiggins help you more than Trey Murphy does.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I think Trey's obviously got the highest ceiling out of all those players offensively, but I think that Lou Dort's defense, Wiggins' steady shooting, and his defense and stuff like that, these are pieces that you don't want to lose.
Yeah, if I am you in a vacuum, Trey Murphy is the more valuable player than Lou Dort. Lou Dort is more important to OKC winning another championship.
Yeah.
So I would.
I mean, especially when he can get away with jumping on dude's shoulders like the other day.
Right? Oh man. And then the whole thing with Fears.
Oh yeah.
I was expecting to see Fears like said something to him or something like Dort just kind of snapped and grabbed him. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, Dort, he's got a kind of like a history of that type of stuff, man. He's interesting. It feels like they allowed Dort to play football out there.
Yeah, they really do. Dort also has a team option for next year, whereas Murphy does not. And Murphy's contract is a positive value one. Don't get me wrong,
it's a small contract.
Flexibility wise,
yeah.
Would you trade Austin Reeves for Amen Thompson? Did you see? I don't know if you watched the Rockets and the Spurs game last night, but like Amen Thompson was. I mean, the Spurs ran away from Amen Thompson and dared him to shoot a 15-footer, and he would not shoot. He was very reminiscent of Jared Vanderbilt.
No, it was very reminiscent of Russ.
No, you're right.
They would do that. Russ and Ben Simmons too. Ben Simmons, the same exact thing. If you can't shoot, sometimes they would do that to Draymond as well. But Draymond is shown to be a decent enough shooter, so it's not as prevalent with him. But like guys like that are reluctant to shoot, like Ben, for example, they're just going to run away from you. Frankly, I'm surprised this hasn't happened more. So I think that's pretty demoralizing. So I don't expect him not to be able to shoot for long. So
he's 51% from the field, but 19% from three.
Yeah, that's not going to continue for very long into his career.
I would say, but I'll say that if that trade is on the table, I would do it. I think it comes down to this. Amen can get a jumper. Austin Reeves can't grow into a 6'7" athletic freak.
Yeah, that's
100%. That said, the Rockets would never do this. Austin's a free agent. He could walk away in July. You're not trading Amen Thompson for what may only be half a season of Austin Reeves.
I wonder if Austin would re-sign there.
I don't know. And that's just it. Like he's said so many times he wants to be a Laker for life. No other team has that. No other team has that assurance.
So the Clippers.
I mean, is it about being in LA or is it about being a Laker?
What? He'll resign just so he can be in Los Angeles.
Now, I would think it would be, this is just me guessing here. This is nothing that I've heard, but I would assume he would be more likely to stay in Houston than if, say, he got traded to the Bucks, to a Giannis-less Bucks. I would assume he'd be more likely to stay in Houston.
Yeah, but there's no chance they're giving up on Amen. I'm not worried about Amen either, like I said. But that is something that teams are going to do to him. And they'll break that out in the playoffs as well. They're going to force you to. And one thing that I'll say that does to you is it can be very demoralizing. You can get into your head if you're that player in that situation. And unless you're a gunner and you're willing to take like 8 threes in that situation, or you have a 1-2 dribble pull up, they're just not going to guard you. It just can get in your head, right?
Well, and now with no Steven Adams, the counter for the Rockets has always been, we're going to miss a bunch of shots, but that's okay because we're going to crush teams on the offensive glass. They are a historically great offensive rebounding team. And so that's mitigated their poor shooting and their inability to create in the half court. But now that Steven Adams is gone, he's out for the season. Do you go get another big? Do you, I don't know. Do you try to go find a guard to get better in the half court? Do you do both? I don't know what the Rockets do now, because if they don't have offensive rebounding, as it's still going to be a superpower, but if they're not a historically great offensive rebounding team anymore, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
I saw that comment.
If we lose another guy to the Clippers. I just like to troll our fan base because I know how everyone hates the Clippers. So I don't think that'll happen, of course.
Could you imagine? Hey, Big Zoo and Austin would make a pretty good pairing.
Oh yeah, exciting whites.
Hey, Jake LaRavia had a chance to be a Clipper, and he said, "No, I'm going to be a Laker."
A smart man.
It was the Kings, the Clippers, and the Lakers were after him, and he picked the Lakers.
He made the only decision the smart people would make.
Yep.
See, there you go. I back in good graces, right?
There it is.
Oh, with that note, I've got to go pick up the kids. So
all right, man. I'll hang out for a few more minutes, everybody. Donnie, thanks for jumping on, man. Appreciate it.
Sure thing, man.
All right, everybody. I'll hang out for a few more here, and we'll talk through a few more things. By the way, actually, with Donnie on his way out, let me give a quick shout out to our sponsor, and that is Sleeper. They do a fantastic job. Great presenting sponsor for our channel. And if you guys use the code Bulletin, that way they know that you came from us. You can get a deposit match, a $100 deposit match up to $100. Again, that code is Bulletin. I put the link in the description. You guys can find it there. We'll get back to talking NBA questions and comments and all that in just a moment. But I made a few picks, just kind of messed around with some things. The Darnold pick, super easy for the Super Bowl. 0.5. It's a free square, 0.5 passing yards. Yes, please. That's an easy victory on that one. And then I went and added a few things, including Dylan the Villain Brooks. I went him on rebounds, and then I went Modest Buzelis on assists because he's been on a streak of getting a high level of assist, and the Bulls shoot a lot of threes. They play at a fast pace, and I think that creates opportunities for assists. So that's what I went with. If you guys are interested, go check out Sleeper. They're a great app, and they're really great with the updates too, giving you a lot of news updates in the app. That's been extremely useful for me. So check out the link in the description down below. All right, let's get back into some of your questions, your comments. Stick around for at least a few more minutes here. Trev, can you talk about how you became the host of Lakers Nation? Sure. You guys want to get personal for a moment? Okay. So how did I become the host for Lakers Nation? I initially started with Lakers Nation as a writer. I literally wrote one article a week. That was what I was first hired on to do, write one article a week. And that was the first time that somebody paid me to write. And so I was like, wow, I get to say I'm a professional writer now. That was my first paid writing gig. And that was over 10 years ago now, that since I joined up with Lakers Nation. And part of the way through, podcasts had started to become a bigger and bigger thing. And I said, hey, there was a Lakers Nation podcast prior to what I am hosting now. There was one. There have been a few iterations of it, honestly, over the years, even before I came on board. And the one that existed before that did not last. And I after that fizzled a few months later, I said, hey, can I give the podcast a shot? And I just pitched it. I said, look, I will teach myself to edit. I will teach myself to record it. I will do all of that. Just let me try. And they said, sure. They made me record a demo and play. I didn't know they were going to do this, but played it for the entire staff. And it was awful. I mean, the worst thing ever. And apparently I got a number of laughs because I hadn't done it before. And it was just, it was terrible. But somehow, some way, they still decided to let me go ahead and do it. And so I started it, and it did okay, to begin. And eventually, Serena Winters was primarily the host for Lakers Nation, but she did things differently than I do. She wanted to be a sideline reporter, right? That's what she wanted to do. And that's what she does now for the Cavs. She does sideline reporting. But Serena would go to the games and do a sideline report and a stand-up and all that. And that's very different from what we get into on a podcast where we're talking rumors and cap and all kinds of stuff like that, strategies on the floor. She wanted to do the more traditional, here's the microphone, I'm going to interview the player, get the response, that type of thing. And she's great at it. Obviously does it for the Cavs now. But eventually she got an opportunity to move on. She did something up in Portland for a little bit, and she went elsewhere. She was with the 76ers for a little while, now with the Cavs. But at that point, we had started taking the Lakers Nation podcast and putting the audio format on the YouTube channel. And so it just kind of became a natural transition where I started saying, oh, well, this podcast did okay on the YouTube channel. hey, this news just came out. Maybe I'll do something on that. And then it just organically grew. I never sat down and said, I want to be the host for Lakers Nation. I wanted to do a podcast. And it just over the years started to move over just naturally towards YouTube. We started saying, hey, we've got this podcast anyway. Let's throw it up on YouTube. Next thing you know, I'm buying a video camera and trying that stuff out and putting video on the screen and all of that. And that was very different looking into a camera and talking versus just doing a podcast for a few years where it's just audio. But it just happened organically over time. There was never a point where I said, I want to be the host and I want to be the one that people think of when they think of Lakers Nation. That was never my goal or my plan. I just really wanted to try the podcasting, and it eventually grew. And every time that I've thought, hey, there's a bigger opportunity here to go further and expand this, it's worked out. And I've taken some leaps in that way. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I love what I'm doing, and I hope that shows in everything we do. I love what I do, and yeah, still can't believe it that this is what I was a teacher. Writing about sports was always just going to be something I did on the side, and this grew and grew and grew to the point where it's at now. Trevor, the trade deadline is unbeatable. The man don't stop working. I am obsessed. That's honestly what it is. But that said, I love what I do, so it doesn't feel like work at all, which is great. Who was your first player interview? It was Ivica Zubac at Media Day as a rookie. It was Ivica Zubac. That was the first player that I interviewed, and he talked about how he taught himself post moves by watching YouTube videos of Marc Gasol and Hakeem Olajuwon. But yeah, that was my first player interview, was at Media Day. I had like Larry Nance Jr., Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, some of those guys on the show. I had those guys on eventually, but the first player that I actually interviewed was Big Zoo. Did you hear the news about Scoot Henderson nearing a return? Yeah, I did see that. I hope Scoot gets things on track. Sorry, Johnny was just texting me there. I hope he gets things on track and gets it going. But it would be great to see him back in action and see what he can do. Do the Knicks have a legit shot at the Greek Freak? Absolutely. Yeah, I think they have a real legit shot. But the biggest thing is I think Giannis wants to go to the Knicks. I mean, there's other clubs too, but the Knicks, I think they do have a real shot. They're certainly in the mix there, especially if they can find a way to get some of Milwaukee's picks from Portland in a deal. That makes things really interesting. And by the way, a lot of people say like inspiring story or whatever. I'll tell you the biggest thing, because this is very unlike me. I'm actually a very introverted person. And I got over that quite a bit by teaching and by having to be in front of a classroom full of kids. But I mean, you hang out with me, I'm not the loud, boisterous one. I'm not the one that, the life of the party or anything. That's not really my personality. And I think that does come through sometimes in this stuff. I don't know why I felt so comfortable volunteering to do a podcast and putting myself out there like that. I'm normally much more reserved and hesitant to do stuff like that, to my detriment. But I'm usually not okay with not being good at things. But for some reason with this, I was able to say, I'm okay with being bad at this and knowing that I'm going to get better. And it paid off. So it's something I try to remind myself now. Like when I look at a situation that I think, that is that too big of a challenge for me? Is this something that's going too far? That, the biggest thing where I've kind of taken that leap professionally anyway, paid off in a big way when I decided I'm going to push myself and be okay with people may have negative things to say. People may not like what I do, but I'm going to be okay with that and know that I'll grow and I'll get better and I'll get better and I'll get better because I'm going to put in the work. All right. Let's go here. I was serious about starting LN in the UK strictly because of you. Following you for 3 years, do you think I can pick your brain at some point? Yeah, absolutely. No problem. After the trade deadline, for sure. After the trade deadline, when things aren't as crazy, but absolutely. Yeah. Happy to have a conversation on all of that. I think there have been some UK based things. I don't think it exists anymore, but there have been some UK based things that I remember that were Lakers specific. We're seeing some stuff all over the world. Obviously, there's a lot of Lakers fans that come in from a lot of different parts of the world. But yeah, absolutely. We can do that. Just shoot me a DM on X. Is that right? I had no idea. That's 99% of YouTubers claim to be introverts. I didn't know that. I thought I honestly, I thought that was a fairly rare thing because to put yourself on camera and put it out there for everybody to watch is not typically something that you would see people who are more introverted do. But yeah, I didn't know that. Obviously, that number I'm sure is exaggerated, but let's go here. If you could pick any all-time Laker role player on this team to put us into contention, who would it be? I mean, it hurts to say it, but is the answer Alex Caruso? Is that the answer? Is it Alex Caruso? Is it Danny Green? I think I'd go Alex Caruso first. Robert Horry would help and all that, but I mean, what's the thing they need the most? Just a tenacious perimeter defender with some athleticism? I think the answer might be Alex Caruso. Lamar Odom is a pick that you would make just because he's one of those guys that you look at and you say, what he was, had he come around as a player, if he came around a decade later, like what is he in today's NBA? How much better is Lamar? And he was already great. I mean, amazing player. But what is he in today's game? Like his skill set fits today's game even better than his skill set fit, that when he was playing. So do you just go based on like, could Lamar Odom be a legit like all-star in today's game, especially if the three ball really came around? That gets interesting, right? So maybe there's that, but I think skill set wise, what this specific Lakers team needs, it will be Caruso. Yeah, Michael Cooper. But he won a Defensive Player of the Year. Like, do we still put him in that role player category? Ron Artest for sure. Now Meta World Peace. Andrew Bynum with 2 knees. I mean, Bynum made an all-star team though. Is he still role player category? Yeah, Odom and Artest are more the. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Prime Meta. Yeah, that'd be good too. Basically anybody that can provide that physicality, that defense on the perimeter for sure. Can the Lakers offer Reeves more than other teams? Yeah, as the incumbent team, they can offer more in terms of raises. That allow. I believe they can go 5 years on the deal. I'd have to double check, but yeah, they can offer more than other teams can. I think if the Lakers. I think if the Lakers offer Reeves enough, right, he's not going to leave just to go to another team. You know what I mean? Like if the Lakers offer is seen as comparable in value to somebody else's team, he'll stay with the Lakers. I don't think he's leaving just now. If the Lakers offered $35 million and the Jazz come in and offer the full max, the 41 or something, then what? That's the question. Does Jokic leave if the Nuggets don't do anything in 2028? Jokic could push his way out of Denver even sooner. And that's as soon as this summer. If Jokic doesn't sign this extension, so look right here. He is extension eligible this summer. If he does not sign that extension, oh my God, the trade market will go insane. The whole NBA. will go nuts if Jokic doesn't sign that extension this coming summer. Now, that said, I'm like 99% sure he's signing the extension. He did not sign an extension this past summer, but that's not because he's going to leave Denver or anything. If Denver doesn't do anything, will Jokic leave? No, I think Jokic is going to stay with the Nuggets for his entire career. I really think that's what's going to happen. But should he not sign his extension, same thing as Giannis. If Giannis were to not sign his extension in October when he's eligible to sign it, Jokic, I think, is eligible to sign it sooner. But that will be an immediate sign that he is leaving in free agency, and the Nuggets would immediately have to start consider trades. Same thing with Giannis. I don't think Jokic is leaving, though. Jokic doesn't need to do much. He makes everybody better. Yeah, I mean, he's arguably the best player in the world. We need a Des Bane offer for Reeves and Vando's contract. You're not getting that. You're not getting if the Lakers want to trade Austin Reeves right now, they absolutely could. And Lakers fans would riot over what the offer would be. Nobody's going to give up real value for a guy that can leave in 6 months. Nobody's going to do that. The Lakers at least have the assurance of Austin saying so many times, I want to be a Laker for life. No other team has that. Something else going on? Oh, Lakers injury report just came out. Oh, he's back. Austin Reeves listed as questionable for tomorrow's game. Luka as well. So Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves as questionable. Adu Thero is out. Man, I'm like last to that, and I just got it from the Lakers a couple minutes ago. Everybody jumped on that one. So there it is. Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic questionable for tomorrow. That would mean that Luka fell last night against the Cavs off the side of their court, which is, I mean, drawing a lot of criticism now because the way they have that set up. But Austin has not played since Christmas Day. So this is a sign that he could make his return tomorrow against the Wizards. Aaron Gordon out 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, we did talk about that. Who's the first player moved? I'm going to say Keon Ellis gets moved first. Keon Ellis. Yeah, I heard the video of Luka getting upset about the court. Aaron Gordon hamstring, that's going to hurt the Nuggets. But the Nuggets, they were without Jokic, they were without Gordon, they were without Christian Brown, they were without Cam Johnson, they were without Valanciunas, and they just kept winning. Like, it's very hard to make up ground in the Western Conference because even when teams should be losing, they just keep winning. And that's the challenge. I mean, the Lakers, you lose a game and teams around you win, it's tough. Now, the Rockets lost. The Nuggets did lose their last game, so that helps a little. But, I mean, Minnesota's right there breathing down your neck. The Suns are right there. It's gonna be a dogfight all the way through to the end. When is Adu coming back? I wouldn't expect to see him till after the All-Star break. Who do you think the Lakers move by the trade deadline? I think they move. I don't see Dalton Connect surviving the trade deadline. Whether or not he actually requested a trade or demanded a trade or whatever, I just don't see it. He needs a new place to be. I would like to see them use some of their expiring contracts to get some win now pieces to help them as well. Jackson Hayes in the dunk contest. That's right. I thought they canceled the dunk contest. No. It's tough getting. I wish more guys would do the dunk contest. I wish more guys wanted to be competitive in the All-Star game. But it's not the way it's been. All right, everybody. I think we'll wrap things up there. It's been an hour and 10 minutes or whatever. But appreciate all of you for joining. We're going to try to do more live shows, work it all the way up to the trade deadline. I've found it seems like the evening ones tend to draw a big response. So I may try to focus on some of those on non-Lakers game nights, because obviously I'll have some conflicts there. But yeah, we're going to try to have more lives on this channel as well. We do appreciate all of you. If you haven't done so yet, please hit the subscribe button. But Donnie and I, we're going to be covering everything all the way up to the trade deadline, keeping things up to date. Same thing with the front office show. And same thing with, of course, Lakers Nation. Anything Lakers related, we'll be covering there. But thank you again. Appreciate all of you for joining. Till next time, everybody. Are you guys trolling me? Yeah, you're trolling me now, saying there's something else is coming out. This is the time of year. I'm jumping on every little notification. All right. See you, everybody. Till next time. Stay safe.